denied entry into the Ghana School of Law. Details on that shortly. And in sports this afternoon, Ghana is to face Ethiopia in a crucial World Cup qualifier. International news, cautious welcome for US and China, the world's two biggest carbon emitters, as to the climate change agreement. Many thanks for your time. Remember, we're live on DSTV channel 279, all around the world on 3news.com and across the social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Let's get to it now, as Parliament's Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs is currently holding its first public hearing on the Proper Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill. My colleague Nancy Vukania, prior to the start of hearings, engaged Boko MP Mahama Yariga, as well as the member of committee, who assured Ghanaians on the fairness of the proceedings.
First day in the series of public hearings concerning the public hearing in respect of the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021. I have with me here Honorable Ayarga just to get his views on the passion with which we are discussing this matter instead of looking at the law. Honorable, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, so what are your views on the fact that most people are looking at this issue passionately instead of looking at it per the law?
Well, I don't know the difference, because people are entitled to be passionate about anything. They are entitled to be passionate about anything, and for some people this is an existential threat to society. I mean, if men marry men and women marry women, they are wondering, how are we going to procreate? How are we going to ensure that the rest of humanity continues to exist if there's no childbirth? If a man who is married to a man cannot give birth to a child, and a woman who is married to a woman cannot also give birth to children, so what happens to human existence? So it's an existential threat that people should be entitled to be passionate about. Are you getting the point? So I don't have a problem with the passion that people express. Now, the law, we make the law. We make the law, and we can decide what we want our law to be. We can decide the extent to which we want to be accommodating. We want to accommodate people with deviant behavior, the extent to which we want to accommodate people's sexual tendencies and how they exercise them. So it's us as a society who will decide ultimately what the law should be. But the passion, I think people are entitled to be passionate. Wait and observe the hearings and see whether it will give us a fair position. I think that I want to assure you that none of us here as members of Parliament will be intimidated by anybody. We will bring out the issues as strongly and as passionately as those discussing it also present their issues.
Now let's cross over now to the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, holding its first in a series of public hearings in respect to the promotion of the Proper Human Sexual and Ghanaian Family Values Bill.
Who said that Ghanaians, overwhelming majority of Ghanaians, up to 97% of Ghanaians support this bill? Or, no, I mean, that 97% of Ghanaians are opposed to LGBTQ. Now, won't you say that this is the will of the people? So that with reference to Article 1, which says that sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana, and the sovereign will of the people of Ghana must be upheld under the Constitution. Won't you say that these opinion polls reflect the will of the people, and that Parliament, as the representatives of the people, must act in accordance with the will of the people? Thank you.
Please, Mr. Kutompa and his group, note that down. Honorable member, please.
Chairman, thank you. My name is Dapamoko. I'm also one of the sponsors of the bill. I listened carefully to Senior Kutompa during his presentation. he attacked the validity of the procedure used in laying the bill, particularly in impugning the right of the Speaker to proceed.
Honorable Member.
Yes.
I was going to tell Honorable Akutampo that leg, if we can ignore, Mr. Akutampa, if we can ignore that leg, I say so because now the bill is before Parliament. So if you are looking at the procedure where the bill, and he used his words rightly, he says it ought not have been before Parliament. Now it's before us. So let's not go into that. I think we've gone past that stage. So if you have other views, you can go on, and then Mr. Kutampao can ignore those points, and then we go.
Chairman, with all due respect, he came to Parliament to make a presentation, and that these are questions arising out of that presentation.
Honorable, I have ruled that we've gone past that, because I cannot determine that this bill should be taken away from the committee. I don't have that power.
I want to put to him.
No, it's not necessary. So let's move on.
Very well.
Yes.
Very well. But we are seeking some clarification from him.
And I said it's moot. This exercise would be
very well.
exercise in future.
Very well. Mr. Chairman, thank you. I want to find out from Mr. Kotoampa and his group whether independently they have conducted any fiscal impact analysis to determine or support its position that this bill, when it is successful and implemented, this is the quantum of money that will be expended in this implementation. Has it done that? That's one.
That question is overruled. It's the same thing going around. I overruled that question.
It is not.
Shall we proceed?
Chairman.
He is not obliged to answer that question. I have overruled that question. Let's go forward. The Speaker had decided. The Constitution says in the opinion of the person presiding, and he has admitted that. Why do we go into that? There's a committee of Parliament, and we work under the Speaker. He has decided.
Chairman, that's about procedure. He has raised this matter as a substantive matter. Very well, very well.
Now, member,
if I may...
Honourable Member, excuse me. What should have happened is that at the time that Mr. Akoto Ampao was making presentation based on Article 108, we should have made him aware that that particular issue was moot, to the effect that the very provision that he was relying upon stated in no uncertain terms that in the opinion of the person presiding, and in the opinion of the person presiding, this bill has been admitted and it is now before the committee. So that particular issue is moot. That is what should have happened. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you. You see, I think we are belaboring the point. The man has come to Parliament. He knows that if he wants to attack the locus of the bill before the committee, this is not the forum. The forum is the Supreme Court. It's not here. So, but he has come to raise the matter before Parliament. Yes, he's entitled. So I am also entitled to ask questions. So I'm also entitled to ask questions. If he's come to, he knows it's my senior. He knows that if you want to attack the procedural impropriety of laying the bill, this is not the forum.
Honourable Member.
This is not the forum. It's the Supreme Court. But he hasn't done that.
Honourable Member.
May I make progress?
Honourable Member, let me draw your attention. All the people making the presentations are our guests. We are not here to interrogate them or attack them. They have given us, they have been benevolent enough to give us their opinion. We have to seek clarifications which will help us to do our work. So subsequently, if you're going by that, if you need to ask questions, please bear that in mind. And this applies to all members.
Well, we'll be bringing you all the highlights with regards to the public hearing right here on TV3. Let's move away from that as the All Nation Builders Corps program trainees who had not been permanently engaged by their module managers by the end of October 31 are to remain on the program's talents pool platform until an opportunity opens for them to be engaged. Some trainees have expressed concerns regarding the way forward for them as their module managers relieve them of their posts. However, CEO of NABCO, Dr. Ibrahim Anya, says no NABCO trainee is going home to sit idle. He spoke on New Day.
A lot of the NABCO trainees would find that over a period, and the process still goes on between now and the end of the year, for those who do not opt out and stay within the talent pool, and they have been notified of this by the exit, they still have an opportunity through their module implementation partner. You heard Ghana Revenue Authority indicate that they should stay on because they are going through their processes. A process to hire someone in the public sector does not happen overnight. Processes have been going on. I'm sure on the very last day, the 31st of October, someone would have had information that they have been hired by their employer. For all those, for example, in 2018, who came onto the scheme for the Hill Ghana module, as we speak this morning, there isn't a single qualified nurse, registered by the Nursing and Midwifery Council, who is still with NABCO. In fact, we should have closed down the module called Hill Ghana. As I speak to you, we have less than 2,000, and I'll tell you who those are. These are people with lesser qualifications and not registered by the Nursing and Midwifery Council. And these are people the Ghana Health Service itself doesn't feel they have an obligation to hire. As far as permanent employment, all NABCO trainees who left the scheme on 31st of October would have chosen a pathway. We have to give it time to see how many of them of the exiters, the 67,000 odd people, how many of them, let's say by early next year, for example, would have still remained on the talent pool and looking to be hired by the public sector. And for those who will have a change of career as it happens, for those who still see themselves finding a career in the public sector, they stay on the talent pool and then they get hired as and when the opportunities come up.
Well, we'll be bringing you more on that. But away from that, former President John Dramani Mahama has painted a gloomy picture of Ghana's economy, saying the new governing Patriotic Party has brought the economy to its knees. According to the former president's ratings agency, Fitch is predicting that Ghana's debt to GDP, which is currently at 334 billion cedis, representing over 80%, could rise to almost 90% by 2023 if care is not taken. He said these when he thanked Ghanaians after touring all 16 regions.
With total revenue, both tax and non-tax, for this year projected to be 72 billion, we will only have 21 billion left to meet all other commitments after we have paid our debt service. And this 21 billion won't be enough to meet the public wage bill for 2021, which stands at 30.8 billion. The money left will be 21 billion, and our public wage bill is 30.8 billion. To bridge the gap between 21 billion and 30.8 billion, government must borrow more, and this will swell the public debt even further.
Former President John Dramani Mahama said after touring the 16 regions, the key issues that stood out for him were the issues of an ailing economy, high unemployment, and the politicization of state institutions, amongst others.
The consequences of misguided priorities in economic management has led to unbearable hardship, high unemployment, and the frustration and despair felt by millions of our youth. Other concerns include the bastardization and politicization of state institutions, the mounting corruption, rising insecurity, abuse of power, lack of investment in critical infrastructure, and abandonment of projects and heavy-handed governance. Take our present economic state, for example. At a time when everyone is crying out over the excruciating hardship brought on by excessive taxation, ever-increasing cost of living, weekly fuel price increases, this government chooses to recite a hackneyed mantra that there are indicators that show that the economy is doing well.
touching on the recent issue of unemployment in the country, he pointed to the long queues of young persons seeking employment into the security agencies and said that the NDC is willing to sit with the government to proffer solutions on how best they can solve this unemployment situation, which he described as a national crisis. In fact, he even agreed with someone who called it a national pandemic.
There's more space for employment, especially if we can keep frivolous expenditure down. In the security services, Ghana Police Service, resource gap was 35,020 more needed to ensure the security of this nation. Ghana National Fire Service requires another 30,136 personnel. Ghana Immigration Service requires another 3,522. And the Ghana Prison Service, from our human resource gap analysis, requires almost another 8,000 personnel. And so, if we can balance our expenditure, we should be able to bring more young people into our public services.
Now, the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Godfrey Dame, has asked the General Legal Council to admit the 499 students denied entry into the Ghana School of Law. The students had secured the 50% or more in the 2021 exams, but were denied admission after the General Legal Council said students admitted have to secure 50% in both sections, that is sections A and B of the exams. This, the students, however, said was not communized, as past exams only need to secure 50% of the overall score to be admitted. The Attorney General, in a letter to the GLC, suggested that the students be admitted in November this year or in May 2022. Now, joining me in studios is the president of the National Association of Law Students, Asari Hassan, as well as Dennis Wadam. He is with the News Planning and Research Desk here at Media Journal. Let me begin with you, Dennis. First of all, you've been going through that letter, right? And yes, sure. I'd like you to update us on the proposals that the AG has given to the GLC.
Well, so the AG has basically proposed 3 options. One of them being that the 499 students be granted deferred admission to take effect in May next year. And he also adds that if that's to be considered, then it means that those who are currently in school now should just continue the academic year and end in April 2022, so that the 499 will start from May 2022 and end somewhere in November 2022. The other option is for them to also be granted immediate admission, so that the 499 students will be admitted immediately, so that they will join their colleagues who are already in school. I think they've done like 2 weeks already in school. Yes. So he also says that that is an option to explore, and that if that is done, provision should be put in place so that they finish their academic year at the same time, and all of them will call to them at the same time. Now, the very last one, which is causing a lot of public stir, is the fact that he's also proposing that a special kind of examination be conducted for these students so that they will justify their admission. He adds that the nature of the exam should be easy and the kind that tests their problem-solving skills. And that's what is stirring a lot of controversy as we speak. Okay, now coming to you, Hassan, this is some welcoming news, I guess, for you as an institution or as an association.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I speak for the National Association of Law Students, as you know. Yes, it is something that we've been pushing for, the admission of the 409. So seeing that letter in the public domain is quite welcoming, and we are just happy about it. I think the issue of having to write the exam again is something that we are looking at closely and discussing. But obviously, if the perception has been that the process of admission has to do with the issue of integrity, and he used 2 particular words, integrity and transparency, then we wonder why one has to go and write the exam again to justify his inclusion. It has nothing to do with the process. And indeed, if you look at 1 and 2, which says that admit immediately, it means that indirectly you're saying they qualified. So why are you saying they should go and write the exam again? So I think that is the bit that we are a bit concerned about and discussing at the moment.
Okay, so what would you rather prefer, that your association, the 499 students are granted immediate admission, or they wait till next year?
Immediate will be the best, in that we have concerns with the deferred. I think I won't speak to it now. We'll look at the option that comes, because there's a recommendation to the GLC to look at or reconsider its decision. So depending on what decision they take, they will know what to look at. But as it stands now, I think looking at the three, the best would be an immediate admission, which would be...
With the immediate admission, we also need to know that already they've lost some 2 weeks. How are you going to catch up?
I don't think 2 weeks will be so difficult to catch up as opposed to waiting till May, and then you have to speed them up to catch up and graduate with them. So yes, there may be systems in place to ensure that they catch up and all. I think 2 weeks is not so bad, but waiting for 6 months can rather be quite depressing.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. You heard the Asari Hassan. He's the president of the National Association of Law Students, and my colleague Dennis Wadam. He's with News Planning and Research Desk here at the Media Journal. Now, the presidency has responded to criticisms from the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference that government is presiding over a reckless dissipation of public purse. The Director of Communications at the presidency, Eugene Ayin, had a press conference at the Jubilee House, said the criticisms were founded on and grounded in facts. Well, we'll bring you that story subsequently. But you're still watching Midday Live from our news up here at Desawe Kanda in Accra. If you're watching GoTV, this is channel 106. Now, President Akufo-Addo is expected to attend the UNESCO's 75th anniversary on Thursday and deliver a speech on Ghana's educational strides. The president, through this trip, will go on leave from the 13th to the 19th of this month. Again, the communications director, Eugene Ayin, at the presidency has indicated.
President will lead the Ghanaian delegation to attend UNESCO's 75th anniversary ceremony, which is being held at its headquarters in Paris. The UN Charter, which came into effect on 16th November 1945, provided for the creation of a specialized agency in the fields of education and culture. And the President will, on Friday, 12th November, deliver a statement on the impact UNESCO has had in Ghana and what Ghana expects from UNESCO in the coming years. President Akufo-Addo will, from Saturday, 13th November to Saturday, 20th November, take a much-deserved, long overdue 7-day leave of absence, during which he has also accepted an invitation to preside over the panel that would adjudicate a debate in the French Parliament on the trial of progress on 19th of November. He's expected to come back to Ghana on Saturday, 20th of November, and in his absence, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will act in his stead. And finally,
now let's take you to an earlier story where the presidency has responded to criticisms from the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference that government is presiding over a reckless dissipation of the public purse.
Inasmuch as this administration is extremely tolerant of divergent views and welcomes criticisms of its work, we believe that these criticisms should be well-founded and well-grounded in fact, as this is the only way an honest conversation devoid of malice and propaganda can be held. You all recollect that the President took the oath of office on 7th of January 2017 and again on 7th of January 2021. And on both occasions, he pledged to protect the public purse, and that's exactly what he has done and he continues to do. Indeed, the transformation that has taken place in all aspects of national life point to an economy that has been well managed, a public purse that is being well protected, and the benefits are showing. Indeed, if President Akufo-Addo had superintended over the wanton dissipation of public funds, firstly, the Ghanaian people would not have reposed their confidence in him barely 10 months ago by returning a decisive margin of victory for him in the 2020 elections. Now, free SHS, which guarantees a minimum of senior high school education for all Ghanaian children and has already granted access to some more than 400,000 children, would not have been possible if the public purse was not being protected. Now, Planting for Food and Jobs, which has brought 1.5 million farmers into its orbit, who now enjoy subsidized inputs, fertilizers, seeds, insecticides, as well as other inputs, and which has ensured that Ghana no longer has to import food from her neighboring countries, like tomatoes and plantain, but currently is rather a net exporter of foodstuffs within the ECOWAS community. this would not have been possible if indeed a public purse was not being protected.
Now, the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, has handed over a 54-bed hostel to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The hostel will accommodate children undergoing treatment for cancer and their parents or guardians.
The stress of having to travel long hours repeatedly for treatment with its associated cost and risk for children and their families has contributed to some parents abandoning their wards.
Members of GAPA observed and found out that about 40% of parents abandon treatment after a few visits, thereby leaving their children to their fate.
For Solomon Adey, father of 8-year-old Brianna Fusua Adey, he had to sell some property in a bid to save his daughter's life.
It's expensive, and myself, I closed my business just to pay attention to my daughter. I sold most of my properties, and the cost now I have spent close to 400,000 Ghana cedis. So it's a very, very expensive. But I thank God that I have my daughter with me, and I'm happy now.
8-year-old Brianna Fusua Adey and Nita Akofa Kudalo, who is also 9, are both cancer survivors.
2 years ago, I think it was back then, I was having a tissue on my leg, and my daddy sent me to Sakumono for treatment, and it was cured. Then after some few weeks later, I started I couldn't move my hand. They said they are suspecting that I have leukemia, ALL. Please, I don't remember what happened, but all I know is I'm a survivor.
The Chief Executive Officer, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Opoku Wariampoma, explained the use of the facility would be free for the needy.
This facility is meant to support parents and children with childhood cancers. So the cost is not going to be a barrier to anybody. So if somebody cannot afford, they come in free.
The facility was named after the First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, who single-handedly raised 90% of funds for the project.
We named the Sunshine Hostel for a reason. When a child is down with cancer, we need a ray of hope to urge us on to believe light will follow the darkness. We named the Sunshine Hostel because children are a ray of sunshine. Their very presence encourages us that tomorrow will be a better day. Let this hostel bring a ray of hope. My prayer is that this place will provide respite from the rigors that come with cancer treatment.
The fully furnished facility has a conference hall, a reception area, family lounge, AstroTurf playing ground for the children. The Sunshine Hostel adds to the number of projects the First Lady has undertaken at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, including Rebecca Akufo-Addo Pediatric Intensive Care Unit and Pacific Lounge, which serves as a waiting area.
Now let's take you to Takoradi because counsel for 29-year-old Josephine Penyin-Mensah, who was at the center of the fake kidnapping and pregnancy case in Takoradi Western Region, Fifi Bachman, says he is not pressured by the case. Well, you're still watching Midday Live from our news hub here at Desawe Kanda in Accra. We have more news for you after this break. Please don't go away.
Zoom right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat 2. I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
The 5th anniversary edition of the prestigious Ghana Energy Awards is here. The Energy Media Group, in partnership with GP Business Consultant, proudly presents yet another spectacular edition. Deserving companies and individuals will be honored in various categories of the awards under the auspices of the Ministry of Energy, its allied agencies, and the World Energy Council Ghana. The 2021 edition of the event is under the theme Digitalized Energy Sector, the key for a resilient economic future. It is happening live on Friday, 19 November at the Labadi Beach Hotel, 6:30 p.m. prompt. Guest of honor of the night, Honorable Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe. Industry partners. Validation is done by Mazars Ghana. Media partners. For ticket and sponsorship, send your inquiry on 055-930-0631. Info at GhanaEnergyAwards.com. Ghana Energy Awards, redefining excellence.
When your phone's media management boss, me patcho phone shop be a makubia. No boy, sir. Boss. Okay. Good day, January. Minimum I am grow. Say yes, it's a whooping phone, papa, and a Canadian. I just a one Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone beer, also be a whooping beer. This a Franco Trading Enterprise. Maybe I am also any phone on one or also phones and then a Canadian. So we will be a wood to a cotton. Once also a fuck a credit one cotton and Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone papa
Sometimes you just know that something ain't going good. You say to yourself, this ain't working for me. There be no shame in that, man.
Like when you don't got it?
Yeah, man, I mean, being smart means knowing when to stop. Know your limit.
So like knowing when to stop? Yeah, makes sense.
If it's not fun, choose to stop.
This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
We've been in a relationship. When she moved from Kumasi to Accra, like, because I don't like distance, I mean dating.
Oh, okay.
Kumasi, are you ready? Date Rush comes to Osei Room screening date Saturday 13th November 2021 at 9 a.m. sharp at Akoma FM. Don't forget to send your picture and details to our WhatsApp number 0542 448 297. Date Rush. Everyone deserves love.
Do you want to be a star? Hey there, Mentor X is here again. 16 contestants with 16 amazing performances every Sunday. And they need you to make them get closer to becoming the next global icon. Here is how. Dial *713*13#. Select the contestant you want to vote for. Select the amount of votes you want to buy. Follow the mobile money prompt and confirm payment. Or download the TV3 Reality app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Select the contestant you want to vote for, tap the vote button, select the amount of votes you want to buy. Follow the mobile money, card, Ghana QR or Hostel prompt and confirm payment. And yes, you just voted for your favorite contestant and they are a step closer in making their dreams come true. Mentor X, discovering the next global star. TV3 Mentor takes you higher. Mentor X is brought to you by Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil and Napa Foods, Sense Body Spray, Club, Better Malt, Tom Vita, Close Up, Geisha, Drugnet.
Welcome back. You're still watching Midday Live from our news hub here at Desawe Kanda in Accra. My colleague Kelvin Oswansa is standing by with all the latest in the world of sports. Kelvin, we're playing Ethiopia at 1 p.m. this afternoon. I'm pretty excited. But with the absence of Thomas Partey, what are our chances to, actually beating Ethiopia and making it to the World Cup?
Well, I don't think Partey's absence should affect the team so much. We have enough quality players in our team. Mubarak Wakaso has returned. We still have Captain Andrea, your Real Mayorkas Baba Idrisu. So in midfield, I think we are sorted. Kudus Mohammed still available. Kamaldeen Suleimana. So it shouldn't be difficult for Milovan Riva to have a replacement, especially playing against a team like or a nation like Ethiopia.
Okay, I mean, some are saying that if we do not beat Ethiopia, then we don't deserve to qualify to the World Cup. Do you agree?
Well, certainly, if you want to qualify for the World Cup, and just like we've been saying consistently, win the 2 games and you are good to go. You don't need to depend on any country's result or any game's result. Just beat Ethiopia. You have South Africa here on Sunday at the Cape Coast Stadium. You win and you are through to the next stage of the qualifier. So I think it's just right that Milovan Rajevac. If he wants his $300,000, he just needs to win all his games in this qualifiers.
Take it away.
Well, Ghana are currently in South Africa, Orlando Stadium to be specific, and Beta Jerusalem forward Richmond Boakye has been named in the Black Stars starting lineup to face Ethiopia in their FIFA World Cup qualifier. The 20-star who is making his return to the national setup over a year out is expected to lead the lineup from Milovan Rajevac's side. Now let's have a quick look at the squad. Jojo Wallacott keeps his place in post, and then Andy Yadom returns to have his right back position. Abdul Babaraman stays as the left back. In defense, Joseph Edu partners Daniel Amate as we don't have the presence of Jonathan Mensah and Alexander Jiku, who is suspended. Idrisu Baba, Kudus Mohammed, Jordan Ayew, Andre Ayew, and then Kamaldeen Sulemana in midfield with Richmond Boakye leading the attack. So that is it there for the Black Stars. We quickly join my colleague, that is Thierry Nyan. He's presently at the Orlando Stadium, and he will give us bits and pieces of what is actually happening there. Thierry, if you can hear me, what is the situation like? What is the mood like at the stadium now?
It's quiet here at the Orlando Sports Stadium. Remember that no fans are allowed in here, and so what it means is that it's just a few individuals here in the VIP, as you can see behind me. Some of the individuals there, you can see the presidents of the association also standing there, and then we've got several other members of the association, plus the High Commission here in this country who've been allowed. Turn the screen just a bit, and then you'll see what's happening on the pitch. The players are training at the moment. They're warming up. That's the Black Stars currently training there. And of course, to my left there, you see the Ethiopians also having their own warm-up session there ahead of the game. That happens in just about 20 minutes. Very soon, they are going to be heading into the dressing rooms and then come back with only 11 players each, to start, what is going to be the penultimate game in this Group G of the World Cup qualifiers. So we are here at the Orlando Sports Stadium, and the players are getting ready. Coach Milovan Rajevac himself has taken charge of the final warm-up session.
Very well, but
alongside Eduardo and Max Okonedo. Yes.
Well, if you look at the lineup, there's no Thomas Partey. We've seen Andre Ayew in midfield together with Baba Idrisu. How is Milo approaching this game? Are we going to see Andre still in midfield, or is that going to be the double pivot of Idrisu and Kudus Mohammed?
You're looking to see, obviously, Kudus and Baba Idrisu in midfield, but Kudus is going to be more advanced, maybe playing the Partey role. Baba Idrisu, holding that midfield for us. And what that means is that Andre Ayew, the man you mentioned, is going to be on the wings, as well. But he's more versatile and likes to be mobile. So expect him to be playing a number 10, to be sharing a number 10 role with Mohamed Kudus as it is. But like you said, Richmond Boakye is also getting the nod to start in this one. And it obviously gives an impression of what Coach Milovan Rajevac wants. He wants clinical finishing. He wants to make sure that his team is out there getting the goals when they have to, and getting the 3 points eventually.
All right, thank you so much, Thierry Nyan. That is my colleague, Thierry Nyan, at the Orlando Stadium in South Africa. The Black Stars are playing as guests to Ethiopia this afternoon. Game starts at 1 p.m. Don't forget, South Africa also play against Zimbabwe at 7 p.m. also in Johannesburg. So we hope that the Black Stars win to have the final game here against South Africa on Sunday. Moving on to some other news. Aston Villa have appointed Steven Gerrard as manager, ending his 3-year reign at Rangers. The former Liverpool captain, who is 41, leaves the Scottish champions, having guided them to a first league title in 10 years last season. Gerrard replaces Dean Smith, who was sacked on Monday after a run of 5 successive defeats. Villa are 16th in the Premier League, 2 points above the relegation zone. Well, that's it for sports. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Antai. We'll take a break. After this break, there's a lot more for you.
Did you hear the super exciting news? What have you heard? GoTV's going super.
Are you serious?
Bringing brand new super awesome channels like Aquaba Magic, Honey, Africa Magic Urban, Rock, Kicks, Boomerang, and WWE. All at the super cool price of only 99 cedis.
Cool.
So, get GoTV Super-sized new package. GoTV Super.
Wow! What more could you get from Lydia's Fashion? My brothers and sisters, there's no need to travel a long way to buy your wedding gowns, dinner wears, your children's clothes, special suits, ladies' dresses, or handbags. Because when you come to Lydia's Fashion, we have everything in stock for you. And guess what? We do wholesale as well as retail. So hurry up. Come to Lydia's Fashion and we will serve you right. Lydia's Fashion. We are the best in fashion. Locate us at Accra, UTC, opposite Fidelity Bank, or call 024 118 2299.
It's Saturday morning, and this is a good time to catch up on all you've missed out on during your busy week. That is why every Saturday morning at 7 a.m., we take the time to delve into the key points to ensure you are adequately informed as a citizen. We break down the week's biggest stories with the right personalities. We ask the tough questions. We bring you the biggest interviews. We analyze the key issues and allow you to contribute to the discourse. Our job is to ensure that you are part and parcel of nation building. If it matters to you, you will get it here first. Join me, Jifa Bampo, each Saturday at 7 a.m. for the key points. Key points, never miss a key moment.
The Key Points shows live every Saturday at 7 a.m. on TV3.
Welcome back. Now let's take it to our later story where the counsel for 29-year-old Josephine Mensah, who was at the center of a fake kidnapping and pregnancy case in Takoradi of the Western region, Fifi Bakman, says he is not pressured by the case.
29-year-old Josephine Mensah, the young lady at the center of the fake pregnancy and fake kidnapping issue in Sekeni Takoradi, made her third appearance in court today.
Today was for CMC, as was stated the other time, that prosecution have provided us with their documents. So disclosures, have been done by the prosecution, and so we were coming for CMC. But unfortunately, the court could not sit because I hear there's a conference or something somewhere. So we've have to take a date, so we've taken a date. Yeah.
The date is?
Oh, we are coming on the 14th of December. Okay. Yeah, 14th of December, and surely I believe by that time we should have, the case management conference and proceed with the matter.
Josephine came to court this morning with the mother, and from all indications, she was in high spirits. She was spotted jeans with some sneakers and some sleeveless top, as well as some shades. She was smiling all over.
Oh, my client is doing very well. She's doing very well. As you can see, this morning she came to court fit. I believe that the psychologists and the family members have, had enough, talk with her. For me, I'm looking at the case. So actually, from the last date, I've not even had, an eye-to-eye even contact with her. I've not seen her. Mine is to pursue my case and to ensure that justice is done.
After the last adjournment, two similar cases happened. One involving Joanna Accra, where she was sentenced 6 years in prison, and the other one about Connect FM's Parkway Simpson, where he's now currently on bail. Now, lawyer Bachman says that what happened has no bearing whatsoever on his case.
My client is Josephine Mensah.
Okay. So you don't think that it will have any effect whatsoever on your case?
Each case and its own dynamics.
This is going to be a landmark case. The whole of Ghana is following this case. The rest of the world following this case. Do you feel pressured in any way?
No. The Eagle is never pressured in any way. I don't feel any pressure. It's my work. I mean, this is not any matter. This is not any. But anyway, it's part of the legal process. Insofar as one judge said that even if you steal somebody's feces, you have stolen something. So we can't just belittle it. We ensure that the law takes its course. That's all.
So you don't
I'm not pressured at all.
Now, regarding the 499 students where the Attorney General asking the GLC to admit them, lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu says if we don't push the limits, nothing will get done, even though the move will affect their motion for censure. But what is key is that Ghanaians who care about law school admission wahala know that we stood by them and fought for them. Progress comes through struggles. We'll keep an eye out there and we update you with every little details right here on TV3. But up next is business news with George Queening.
A very good afternoon. Welcome to Business here on Midday Live. My name is George Queening. We are live on DSTV channel 279. Let's begin with agriculture because the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAU, has warned Ghanaians to brace themselves for an increase in food prices in some few weeks. The General Secretary of GAU, Edward Carrera, said Ghana is in the harvest season, but food prices are high on the market. And he projected the prices to increase in the month of January and February 2022. The General Secretary was reacting to a survey by 3FM Sunrise on food prices in the country.
You cannot proceed to make a general statement that you are expecting prices of foodstuffs to fall, to normalize in November, December. Because you are talking about a specific situation. If it is a theory in the textbooks, this is what will happen. But when you have a peculiar case, and you see, and this is where we are saying that we can do better than we are doing now. So when we have all this understanding, then we can work together to reduce our situation. But what we are hearing is that everything is rosy. Everything is rosy, even to the extent that we think that we export tomatoes, when that is not the case.
Well, in more news this afternoon, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (NET) has entered of plans to expand its operations and include employees in the informal business sector. The trust wants more people to voluntarily join the scheme.
Out of the estimated 14 million workforce in Ghana, only 1.7 million people are active contributors to SNIT. Statistics from the National Pensions Regulatory Authority indicates 87% of the working population is in the informal sector. Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tinkrine, says people in the informal business sector are not taking advantage of SNIT because of perception that the scheme is for those in the formal sector.
I actually think you have to be in an office to contribute to SNIT. So what we are going to do, and starting next year, we'll hit the pavement, pound the pavement, and go out there and sell the SNIT scheme. It's about time that we got out of our offices, engage people, and let them know that they too are entitled to ensure the incomes that they are making today for the future. It's also about time that we expanded our operations and basically sell the SNIT scheme so that people will voluntarily, join us. Because such people who are self-employed, the law allows them to join as voluntary contributors.
He was speaking at an employers' breakfast meeting in Kumasi. Deputy Director General in charge of operations and benefits tasked the employers to ensure contributions of their employees are paid.
One of the concerns that's come to our attention is the employers' unwillingness to pay contributions for staff on probation or temporary employees. Let me reiterate that all workers, whether permanent or contract, have a right to Social Security, and you must not deny them of this right.
The meeting was aimed at strengthening the relationship between SSNIT and employers. The engagement also created a platform for the employers to discuss challenges they face in dealing with the trusts.
Well, that's how we end the business news on Media Live. Remember, Kekemo News Update, when you log on to our website, is 3news.com. Alternatively, you can join the business team at 7 on News 360. Up next is entertainment with Anita Ikuye-Kufu. Good afternoon.
I'm Anita Ikuye-Kufu, and in entertainment this afternoon, dancehall star Shatta Wale flared up and stormed out of the meeting with the IGP after a police officer ordered him not to film proceedings. The hitmaker has disclosed that the officer was rude towards him, hence the decision to retort and storm out. Dancehall firebrand wants the police to treat the citizenry with some respect.
I've come here, I'm sitting down. People are taking out their phones. Me alone took up my phone. Some policeman wanted to talk.
Our checks reveal that the dancehall star's misconduct during the meeting nearly led to him being locked up. Beyond retorting, his body language provoked COP Kofi Boakye, who ordered for him to be locked up for disrupting proceedings at the meeting. It took the intervention and pleas from key industry practitioners present to get COP Kofi Boakye to rescind his decision. Moments after the meeting, the dancehall firebrand was captured in a tete-a-tete with COP Kofi Boakye. The acclaimed musician may have apologized to the IGP for his misconduct, but there's one more thing on his mind. Shatta Wale wants the police to treat the citizenry with respect and stop being rude.
Personally, you also have your expectations of the security service and the police, and what are these things that you also expect from them?
Well, the only thing I expect from them is they should play their role as policemen. Me, I would say that because I don't have any problem with any policeman, though. It's just that sometimes when the citizens meet them, they don't show them that respect.
Now, the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu Dampare, earlier yesterday engaged some members of the creative arts industry to dialogue and devise efficient ways of plying their trade without flouting the law. Also big on the agenda was the issue of copyright, piracy, fake publications, and harassment of entertainers by police officers. Also, Orai has the details.
Police is going to make sure that special security arrangements are provided to them on stage during special events, national assignments, filmmaking, and to contribute security-wise to their development to make sure that they contribute their quota to the socio-economic development of this country. Importantly, infringement on copyrights, patent rights, among others, will also be taken seriously, and the police will support them. We know that we have various associations and groups within the Ghana creative industry. We've taken note of that, and the kind of assistance will be fashioned according to their needs and wants.
We are so grateful that the IGP gave us this invitation and a hearing. In there, we were able to tell him our needs and the kind of support we need from the police. And we also seek education.
And still staying on this meeting, the IGP and the top brass of the police service engaged key personalities in the showbiz industry on Wednesday. Some shared their thoughts on the outcome of the meeting and expectations with the entertainment desk. Well, before we bring you that particular one, earlier we brought you stories of what happened with Shatta Wale and also with regard to what the IGP and the entire police force tend to do for the entertainment industry. Now, let's take a look at some of the expectations and thoughts of some of the creatives.
It was a fruitful meeting with the Ghana police, I must say, and we are very, very grateful. Some of the things that were addressed that I personally loved was the issue of fake publication, because somebody like me, I become a victim of it. The police have assured us that now your lies will be prosecuted.
You know, sometimes police will stop you for a check based on how you look, character assassinations and all that. They look at your personality and then they decide that you are a criminal. You know, in our field, we do a lot of accessories, dreadlocks, earrings, chains, and there are some police who don't know that these are items that we work with. Yeah. So they see you and they consider you as a miscreant. Yeah. So I'm happy that today we've been able to tell them all this.
The IGP's destination when it comes to handling celebrities, showbiz and all of that, I'm sure it has been fine-tuned after this particular meetings, because he had some things that were bewildering, and I'm sure he's going to work towards that, also factor them in decision making. So it's a sign of somebody who wants to work.
One I dwelled in most was the protection for celebrities. We are the eye of the public, and that anywhere we go, people are, we are seen as big shots in the country or in the industry. So most eyes are always on us, and therefore some protection has to be given to us, or especially when we call the police for assistance for anything, they will be there to protect us.
Well, I think I like how the IGP himself finally took charge and responded to the various issues, and how he said that he was going to deal with them individually, one after the other. So I believe that eventually, if any change is going to happen from what we've just complained about, it's going to be from what he's just promised that they're going to do.
Definitely, it was a fruitful meeting, but that's it for entertainment. I'm Anita Ikekufu. Up next is international news.
And in international news this afternoon, the last president of the segregated South Africa who freed Nelson Mandela has died, aged 85. F.W. de Klerk died peacefully at his home in Fresnaye earlier this morning following a struggle against mesothelioma cancer. De Klerk, who was also a key figure in the nation's transition to democracy, had been diagnosed with cancer this year, according to a spokesman. De Klerk was head of state between September 1989 and May 1994. In 1990, he announced he was releasing anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela, leading to multi-party polls in 1994. A statement from the former President F.W. de Klerk Foundation on Thursday morning read, quote, former President F.W. de Klerk died peacefully at his home in Cape Town earlier this morning following a struggle against cancer. Time now for international wrap.
The US and China have agreed to work together to deliver the 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature goal set at the 2015 Paris summit. The announcement has received a cautious welcome. The campaign groups say the two big polluters must also achieve the goal. Delegates at the COP26 summit are hammering away at the final agreements that needs to be signed off by nearly 200 countries. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed the agreement between China and the US to work together to take more ambitious climate action in this decade. Chinese President Xi Jinping has warned against returning to Cold War-era tensions in the Asia-Pacific region, urging global cooperation ahead of the virtual meeting with his U.S. counterparts. Tensions between China and the U.S. have soared in recent years, with Washington raising concerns about Beijing's actions in the South China Sea, as well as its stance on Xinjiang and Taiwan.
And that's how we wrap up with Midday Live from our news hub here at Desawe Kanda in Accra. You can find more news when you log on to 3news.com. I am Emmanuel Samani. Take care of yourself and be well. Good afternoon.